Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for having us here today. Just by a show of hands, who does not drive a Toyota here? Don't be shy, guys. Okay, so hopefully by the end of today, we would have convinced you guys to drive a decent motor car. Okay, we're not here to sell motor cars. We're here to share our successes on our energy management. We've walked the walk right from the beginning with NCPC and UNIDO and the IEE. I was fortunate enough to be on the first energy management systems training course, as was Sheldon and quite a few of my colleagues here as well. So we have walked this walk right from the beginning. So why an energy management system for Toyota? We are as a global company, we are driven obviously by very aggressive environmental targets, namely in the areas of energy, water, and waste. So we're going to be focusing here on energy today, and obviously we set ourselves targets every day or every year. We follow the basis of the energy management system. We set our target baselines every year, and then we challenge those targets on an annual basis. But as a global company, we obviously set ourselves 5-year targets as well, 5-year environmental plans, and we've just recently set our next 5-year environmental plan, which will see us reduce our energy performance indicator, which is kilograms CO2 per vehicle that we build, by 10% over the next 5 years. Toyota has then gone further to take a very aggressive stance in saying by 2050, we want to be a zero CO2 emission company worldwide. So obviously, as Toyota South Africa, we fall part of that global scenario, and we will then have to start working towards being a zero CO2 emitting plant by 2050. The second reason for an energy management system is the rapid rising cost of electricity in this country. Way back in 2007, our electricity costs were about 28 cents a kilowatt hour. We have seen an almost 400% increase in electricity costs as of the end of 2014. So it's certainly making an impact on our bottom line, where, as Alf mentioned earlier, electricity prices were very cheap historically in this country compared to global standards. They probably still are. But certainly in the South African context, we have seen a rapid increase in electricity costs. And if we had not intervened from an energy management point of view, our competitive base would have been eroded even more on an international basis. Then the most recent one is the stability of electricity supply in our country. So we've obviously spoken a lot about that today. And for a company like Toyota, it does not benefit us going from having an energy surplus to actually being load shed. So we've had to do something drastic to prevent load shedding in our company, and we've been able to do that. The cost of actually stopping our continuous process far exceeds the money that we lose during the load shedding. Okay, so we had to act and do something about it. So what did we do? Back in 2009, we took an executive decision. Our senior management took an executive decision to actually set up a dedicated energy management department. This actually follows the Toyota model globally, where each Toyota plant has a dedicated energy management team. So they actually put resources in place to manage the energy going forward. And we've certainly seen the benefits of that. In April 2010, this department kicked off. And as I said, we've gone through various training courses. I said we attended the first energy management systems training course, and we've attended various other energy courses offered by UNIDO through the IEE and NCPC, not only for my dedicated team, but also for various key personnel at Toyota as well, on all the compressors, fans, pumps, steam, etc., etc. And we've certainly seen some of the results. We've been recognized for some of those results over the years. So in 2012, we received for the Toyota Motor Corporation Global Eco Award as being the best energy reduction plant in the Toyota Group worldwide. And from where we were 2 years before that, we were probably in the bottom 5 Toyota companies around the world as in the 5 worst performing Toyota plants globally. So we certainly were able to achieve that award in 2012. 2013 and 2014 see us pick up the SAE Energy Company of the Year award. And more recently in Vienna, we were awarded a presentation by UNIDO as being an industrial leader in energy management. Okay, so just some of the actions and results along this walk where we've come from. To date, we've implemented 113 energy projects from 2010, saving in the we'll get to the savings just now. But you can see year on year on how much money we've invested in our projects. Not every project we invested. So I think 51 of the 113 projects, there was a zero investment. So we've seen a large portion of our savings actually coming from zero investment. I think to date we've invested about just over 18 million rand in capital projects with a saving of over 21 million, which we'll see in some slides going on. So what has that resulted in from an energy reduction point of view? We've reduced our carbon footprint by almost 14,000 tons of CO2 through the 113 projects. And this qualifies for a financial saving of almost 22 million rand from those 113 projects. As I alluded to earlier, our energy performance indicator, our kilogram CO2 per unit, we've seen a 33% reduction since 2010, or 2009, should I say, in our performance. And in the years of 11, 12, and 13, our total energy footprint actually decreased year on year, and our volumes, our production volumes actually increased over those 3 years. So it's actually showing that our efficiency program is actually working. We're able to reduce our total energy consumption even though our volumes were increasing. You'll see an upturn slightly in 2014 and 2015. That is because our new quantum production plant has come online towards the end of 2014 and will be in full production in 2015. So we'll be reassessing our baseline in 2015. And as I said earlier, we've set our next 5-year target will be based on our 2015 baseline. But that's just the nature of the business. It's constantly changing, and you need to readjust your baselines to those changes. Okay, so just some of the challenges and the successes we've had along this walk. Certainly the behavioral mindset of the workforce back in 2009. Electricity was cheap. No one switched anything off. I think over a week when I started in this department, on a weekend when we didn't build a single vehicle, we were running at 11 megawatts of power out of a 26 megawatt plant. So almost 50% of our plant was actually still on for no particular reason whatsoever. So it was the behavioral mindset of how we actually change it with our workforce and working consistently with our workers, showing them the benefits of proper energy management. What are the financial benefits? How can they take this home? Those kind of things. So it was certainly a behavioral mindset change. The sharp increase in electricity prices, as I've alluded to, the availability of the electricity supply, the maintenance of the energy solutions. Before we started the dedicated team, it was always part of someone else's job. These energy solutions fell apart after 6 months, a year. And I think now having through the dedicated team and actually consistently following up, we've been able to maintain those energy solutions over the 4 or 5 years that we've been having this department. Elimination of waste, as I said, in the non-production times, I think we're running now at just under 3.5 to 4 megawatts on a weekend. There's obviously certain facilities that we have to run because we're a continuous process. We can't switch them off. We've actually set up weekend energy targets now. So every general manager on a Monday morning, he gets a report stating what his weekend consumption was, and he's actually held liable against those targets and forms part of his KPIs. So he's held accountable. So the ownership is there from the plant management, the senior management. Moves on to the next thing is the management responsibility. Toyota, we're fortunate that top management have taken ownership of this whole process. It's driven from the top down, although we do communicate from the bottom up as well, and we do see the support from bottom up. But each senior manager at Toyota has the responsibility of environmental targets, and he has to report to those on a monthly basis. The results through our continuous improvement, obviously Toyota strives on a continuous improvement, and you've seen over the years, we've seen our kilogram CO2 per unit decreasing, and as I said, our total energy consumption over those 3 years that I mentioned were also decreasing, although our volume was increasing. And I think by putting in a dedicated energy management team, we put the resources to it. There was a lot of speculation about it in the beginning, but I think we've definitely seen the benefits. Over almost 22 million rands worth of savings. So the directive I was given was that my department must not exceed the costs of what we save. So we've certainly seen that through our savings, we can actually, I can have the team continuing, and hopefully we can continue that for many years still. So yeah, that's just some of the basic work that we've had over the last 5 years. We've certainly seen the benefits through the training provided and the dedication of our workforce. Yeah, thank you.